morning. Good morning. I don't know. I don't even know what spawned this. I know what spawned this. Several events and just, I suppose, BS over the past several weeks. Perhaps my absence in content creation to some extent. But I become less and less inclined to engage in some of the political discussion. Actually, in some respects, I can sort of level with the writing in House of the Dragon. They get into some of this stuff where, like the essentially, how do I put this? It's like in terms of entertainment and like writing, House of the Dragon, like the whole story arc is essentially the weight of the crown. The weight of the crown and what it does to the people whose head it rests upon. And if you just look at even Game of Thrones, if you look at House of the Dragon so far, every person who worn that crown has met, a fairly bitter end. And, and I guess, spoiler alert as far as House of the Dragon Season 2 goes, and I'll give you a moment to depart if you need to, is that, Alicent wants to essentially escape that and tries to bargain with Rhaenyra once more. But even her touching grass, as it were, was a big reveal to her that there's much more to life outside of, this nobility and being a part of a broader, or being a part of the Regency, essentially. And, I can level with that. That's it just got me thinking, and I've been thinking about this for a minute now, that politics in a lot of ways is just something I don't necessarily, as much as I want to engage with certain political topics, I don't find it fruitful at all. There's nothing. I've yet to see something good come from it, and maybe I won't see anything necessarily good come from it. Like maybe it's going to take quite a while for it to get to that place. But the other side of me thinks that this is where apathy sets in. And maybe that's the plan. If I'm going to put my tinfoil hat on, right? If I'm going to put my tinfoil hat on, the point is make people not care. So the powers that do be, they can have all the fun. And by fun, I mean the control. Is that the point? Or am I doom and glooming it too much? I don't know. It hurts my chest. It hurts my chest to think about sometimes. What's up, Extra Zero? How you doing, man? I'm discussing the what's up, Lasonia? You talking about the second basement campaign going on? I don't know what's the second basement campaign. I don't know if I'm familiar with that. I'm um I'm just discussing the political climate that we're currently in and how that's sort of like I almost think it's what's up, Madhouse? I almost think it's meant to beat people into submission. Like it's meant to like to just chop you down. It's Rocky's body blows to Ivan Drago. Right.
Thank you for choosing Spirits. Can I get you started with our delicious Carversations cocktail?
No thanks.
Okay, what can I grab you?
I just want to grab a medium dark roast with a little half and half, please.
Medium dark roast with half and half?
Yes, please.
Okay, anything else I can grab you, like our mini donuts?
No, thank you.
Cool, you can scoot on up to the window.
Just scooting on up. Hey, make sure you hit that like button, y'all. Do me a flav. Like Biden did in 2020. Kamala's campaigning as yeah. How come everything is trying to kill the only? Yo, Lost is a gem, man. Lost is a great show, and you can't convince me otherwise. Yeah. Lost is great. You'll get frustrated towards the end. Lost was a lot like Game of Thrones. Awesome. Oh shoot!
217 for you.
Every card I have just fell out. There you go.
Sorry about that.
No, it's your fault though.
Customer service card. Here's this for you.
Thank you.
Have a nice day.
You too. Yeah, Lost season like 6 and 7, I think, or whatever the last two seasons are of Lost. It was like, holy shit! Like, is this what we're doing? Yeah, I just like so I gotta find a better maybe I gotta just start using like a money clip or something, like one of those wallets that like just holds everything into slots and you like push it out, because my wallets, like, they just over time the pockets in them expand, and then you like tilt your wallet one way and everything comes dumping out. It's like, what the hell? No, I think, Krabby Patty, you make a good point. Like, let's talk about something different. And maybe you're maybe just being facetious or whatever, but that's like my absence is largely because of this, of like why I just have no desire in a lot of respects to talk about politics. And I'm actually more so starting to understand. I'm actually more so starting to understand why people are so extreme in their viewpoints, because I think they're tired of tap dancing around their real opinions. And I don't necessarily want to fall into that trap, because I want to always have the sort of like level mind of, these are the things that we really have to consider. These are the things, like, there's many different sides to what's going on. People need to be more patient with how they discuss things and how they even interpret things, because there's so, like, our lives are just manipulated by everything. You know, no one likes to. Yeah, that's what I'm extra zero. That's what I was kind of getting at was, is that the plan? Is the plan apathy? Because the powers that be want the power, and they want people to be apathetic to the issues, you know, happening in life. And is that where, you know, yeah, I mean, I guess it's not so. I know it seems like I'm putting the tinfoil hat on too much, but that, from where I sit, that's what it seems to be. That's what it seems to be like. I know that sucks to say, but you know, I'm not seeing anything much different. And you know, but I still think, and I still try and do what I can to be the most rational person in the room. It's because, again, I think we get ahead of ourselves in the discussions happening online, things that are coming across everyone's news feed. And I guess at the end of the day, what it comes down to is not everything affects the individual. And that's where I think, well, it's really time to take a step back and, like, maybe just escape from the world. Like, maybe retreating back into life and not worrying about it allows people to live a longer, happier life. The people who are waking up every day with this purpose of, I'm going to take care of my family. I'm going to love my wife. I'm going to love my kids. I'm going to provide for them. We're all going to work together and not let the broader issues of society, you know, take me down. Like, at the end of the day, and you know, hear me out. If I show my family, my kids, that wake up every day, take care of yourself, be kind to others, don't be the one to cast the first stone, don't be the first to cast judgment, but live a fulfilled life, allow others to do the same, and protect what you love most in the meantime. Isn't that one of the best possible things a person can do in combating a lot of what we're seeing nowadays? Isn't this how we did it in the past? Or is now the best way to combat that to stand at our pulpit online and essentially preach to others, this is what we should do, this is what we should do. This is all, like, I think, good food for thought for those, you know, because I think, you know, a lot of the people who are watching, you know, they might not be content creators themselves. If you're just someone who is, you know, yeah, no, exactly. Extra zero, I agree. Trying but failing. Absolutely. It is certainly difficult to do both. Hey, what's up, Mephisto? Cheers, brother. Good to see you, man. If you guys can, we got 8 people viewing. If we can get up to 8 likes, I'd be forever grateful. Maybe we can get to 10. Let's go 10. Politics. Open container? No, it's a hot cup of coffee. Open container of Joe. like, this is where I've been in a debate. I've just applied to have a Ridge wallet sponsorship. Maybe some free wallets in our future, my friend. I'm glad that I could inspire you to go to get a Ridge wallet. I should look into those as well. This would probably be a good thing to have. They probably last forever. Where was I? This is why I've also debated on bringing back, rather than Shagcast, bringing back The Break. So I did a short run of live streams with Lofty Pixels, and I did one with Grant, where we talked about movies that I really liked. Entertainment that was really good, because I think that was more of like a, hey, we're not going to so much talk about bad things, and we certainly could get into bad things, but it was more like a break from the constant negativity of a lot of content out there. And Shagcast seems more of like, it seems like it could get more towards the negative. Now that's totally on me to do, but I've been approached, told a couple times that The Break was a good show and that it should perhaps continue. I did another show a while ago that was basically discussing movies and television on Friday nights, called The Midnight Oil, where we'd go on real late, my normal time, and we would burn the midnight oil talking about movies, ones that we liked. Yeah, there's a lot of, I think the political landscape on Twitter, YouTube is in a pretty precarious spot. I think there's too many reactionaries and not enough moderates. But I understand that reactionaries, they're getting, I mean, that's where the money is. You know, given your knee-jerk take on whatever, it's very popular. Yeah, no, I got you. I do got you, Mephisto. Consistency is, I think, always been the hardest part of my schedule, because, well, I mean, yeah, it's just always been the hardest part. I think I want to do too much. I think, okay, here's the truth. The hardest part is letting go. Ready? I mean, that's it. The hardest part is letting go. I had such a great time in my life playing games on Twitch. And letting go of the gaming side of my life is something I need to do to really move forward. I can't, and this is like, it's like kind of hurting to say, because and some of you will go, no, you don't have to, you just got to find balance. Here's the issue. I love playing games, and it's been a part of my life for a long time. If I want to really do what I want to do, I have to give it up. And that, there's a delayed gratification that is hard, that I'm finding difficult to like grab a hold of and make happen. And because of that, it's just this feedback loop of not feeling good about that. I love playing games. It brings me closer to people. It allows me to engage with people pretty easily. It's a break. What I will say is I think I said on Twitter the other day that I'm starting a path in game development, because while it's not gaming, it's far from the actual act of gaming. I want to be involved with games, and instead of constantly bitching about how the state of games is in such a bad state, I want to try and be a part of the solution however I can. And that's the way I know right now. Because I think the skills involved with game development can transfer to other places as well. You know, #learn to code. Oh yeah, no, I listen to Pirate Software quite a bit. He's one of the reasons I decided that game development was probably a good place to start, because I love games and I love community. You know, and I've been playing. So I've been playing. If you've been watching me the past couple of days, I've been playing, you know, some older roguelikes and some retro-esque games like The Binding of Isaac, Halls of Torment, Slay the Spire. Those games are incredibly good. And I want to be able to make something like that where people can enjoy a game. I don't know. But yeah, that's something. So since I started that sort of journey, I've been taking like a couple hours a day to been taking a couple hours a day in just doing that, doing these like classes and exercises to learn the very basics of stuff. I don't know the other guy you're talking about, Extra Zero. I'm familiar with Pirate Software, but I'm not familiar with the other guy. I got to talk to Lethal about coming on Ready Set Shag. I've been meaning to reach out to him, and I can't. For some reason, can't ever remember to get him on. There is no Gamergate 2.0. Yeah. I don't know, you know, I'm a boomer when it comes to some of this like gamer news and everything. I'm not even totally familiar with Gamergate and all that. I couldn't fluently tell you what that is, and if, you know, I don't know if that's off-putting or bad for some to hear, but I don't know. This is what I mean, is like, I think not immersing myself in some of this, you know, historical BS has been nice, because I don't really want to be a part of it, and I don't find it useful or even helpful. It's not enriching in my life, you know. I guess that's part of it, is like engaging in things. Like I personally need to engage in things that bring value. Yeah, no, that's true, Extra Zero. That's true. That's what, like, that's what I mean. The reactionaries aren't, it's not good, because that's exactly what's happening. Let me read this article that just came out, or let me just read this headline that just came out, and then make a judgment based on that. when there's so much stuff involved in there, and like in the what ifs too. Part of, I know a lot of you guys are religious, but I'm not. Like, I find myself to be spiritual, and I like the idea of there being a God, but I don't live my life by the book. And I don't, and while I think there's some useful concepts in there, like I don't go about my life, like I don't care what people do. I don't think it affects anything. If someone wants to be gay, trans, whatever, do your thing if you're an adult. I don't think somehow that needs to be eradicated because God says it's not okay. Like I don't think that way. And again, if that offends you, I apologize. It's not meant to attack anyone personally. I don't find it to be a valid excuse. Again, you can do whatever you want. Real Wade Nation, I will still be doing streams on Wednesday. Tomorrow night we will have a live stream. Absolutely. Yeah, I'm not stopping the live streams on Wednesday. Just, I mean, the midweek hump will not be continuing. Yeah, like real I think real commentary and real video essays take days, weeks, and months to compile because you really need to sift through what's going on and what's happening in the world. It's not as simple as what's up, Silvar? It's not as simple as just, hey, this headline came out or this article came out. Now every judgment I have is cast out there, and these people are awful or this person's really bad. It's not productive. I've said for a while that people are so quick to judge on things. And, hey, don't get me wrong, I'm quick to judge on things too, usually for a laugh. But people are so quick to judge on things without getting full context or full story. But the reality is, if the tables were turned and they had been caught up in something that was untrue or didn't have the full details or whatever, they would be out of their mind mad. They would be, oh, how could people not take their time and get all the... Well, yeah, duh. I know it's expedient to, and it's a quick buck to be reactionary on things. But if you don't know what you're talking about and you're just throwing shit at the wall and hope that it sticks, you're a big part of the problem. I don't even think that's the least bit controversial. Educated opinions matter. Or at least good faith. If you're looking at an article and responding to it, then at least approach it in good enough faith where you could be wrong. Where your comments on something are not just like, hey, this is the end all be all, this is it. And certainly if you make a mistake, you have to walk it back. There's not enough people willing to do that. And by God, like, people need to realize that a lot of the folks that they're praising day in and day out as like literal digital deities are very, very flawed people in general. If you guys think I'm perfect or any stretch of that, you're wrong. I make mistakes constantly. And I have to apologize for them. I apologize to my kids. I apologize to my wife. Like, life is one painful learning experience. It is a constant growing pain. Like parenthood. I mean, everything about life is. it's a part of the deal, man. It's a part of the deal admitting mistakes. I've made plenty of them in the past. I've made plenty of mistakes in the past. I have apologized to people that I've wronged. I have been the worst version of myself many, many, many times. Wait till your folks get older, my man. Yeah. My parents are fairly young, which is nice, but my dad is in pretty poor health, which is really hard to watch. But I think, and I don't think anyone's ever explicitly said, because I know people will say, Shag, you're crazy. No one's ever said that they're perfect. No one's ever said that what they say, it doesn't, it's how they carry themselves. Right? There's this arrogance about a lot of reactionaries that, that they need to just rein it in a little bit. I don't even think a lot of people want this. I don't know. I find that people are starting to turn away more and more from the reactionary content because it's just the same thing over and over. And that's fine. Again, people will make a buck how they can and how they want. But I do think there are people who are very interested in the moderate voices, understanding the other side. Quite honestly, and some of you will say, oh, I'm too old for that. I've been around the block. I know what the other side does. And I think that's short-sighted. I think as time changes, people change. I think people have to be ready for these changes to take effect, to come into their own, to watch as generations look at what's happening and start to realize we need to move this way or that way. I don't think there's anything more important than that. And by the same token, I do suppose that, and again, it's not my place to say you have to live your life this way. As I say in my TikTok debates constantly, I'm not here to dictate how someone should live their life. I'm simply giving my opinion on why I believe it's valuable to live in such a way. And if someone wants to take that and run with it, that's totally up to them. This is how I do things. This is why I do things. This is this is the desired effect I believe it'll have. You can't. And I think embracing the negative side mentality of everything is a dangerous one, because I don't think that the world is irredeemable. I think humans are a very flawed creature, but I don't think that we are any more flawed than any other animal out there. We are some of the most complex of animals in the animal kingdom. That is to be sure. No one is really flawed. We are all flawed. I kind of want to make that shirt. I wish I could make that shirt. We made it to the moon, we'll be all right. You know what I'm sick of hearing? Okay, let me. I say that like I'm sick of. I don't know how to put this without sounding like a complete jackass. I'm sick of having any sort of doubt that we did land on the moon, because I guess I want to see it, you know? I believe we went to the moon, but I'm sick of hearing people talk about the fact like, oh, no, we didn't go to the moon. And then me being like, are you sure, Tom? Maybe we didn't. We didn't even have air conditioning in the car. Yeah, flat Earth and fake moon landings, the two are very. Yeah, no, I mean, it's frustrating. It's frustrating. The flat Earth shit really just makes me mad. I cannot stand the flat Earth shit. Like, why in God's name? How is that a thing? How? Here's the thing. Okay, Extra Zero, let me comment on that. Let me comment on the Joe Rogan thing. The problem is Joe Rogan has a huge platform, right? So people look to him. He's had some really good guests he's had a wide variety of people on his show. Some are comedians. Some are comedians who think they know a lot. Some are comedians who just are comedians. There's a lot of great scientists on there. There's a lot of people who study kind of outside of the mainstream science that have been on there. There's a lot of different things going on. That said, I do think people should be looking, like, if you're looking at Joe as a source of like reliable factual information, I mean, that's part of the issue. That's a big part of the issue. He's not. Oh, bummer. Rear end. I know him having a giant platform, it does sow seeds of doubt, because, oh, hey, everyone's tuning in, so this must be reliable, right? A lot of people tune into MSNBC and CNN, but they're not always right. It's a good source of, I mean, they're two totally different things. News outlets should be presenting factual information. Someone's podcast isn't necessarily obligated to do that. I don't know. Like, maybe I should like put a disclaimer on my show that just says, like, take this as what it is. It's just a fun conversation. You know? Because I saw a TikTok the other day where some guy was totally disparaging Rogan as like a doofus for all this stuff and misinformation and blah blah, and he's a moonland denier, and now all of a sudden he's not, and everyone just thinks he's like such a great person. And I just thought, dude, I don't think I've ever really looked at Rogan, of all people, as a beacon of like real information. I'll look at his guests as more of like education than anyone. Sorry, I got slammed from my value day at work and then just found out my boss canceled the movie everyone wanted. Oh. Yeah, like I think if people want to look at what his guests are saying, that's one thing. But I think if people are looking at Rogan as like the, oh hey, this guy is like, he's saying all the right things and he has so many amazing great points. It's like, well, he's a comedian and he's a Hollywood guy and he's a UFC commentator. I'll look at his UFC comments and I'll take those to heart. I'll take his advice on being an up and coming comedian and what you could do to be a good comedian, where what you should do to pound pavement, blah blah blah. Speaking of guests, I hear your show tanked. You must be free. Yes, I ended the midweek hump, but I will still be doing a show on Wednesday evenings. But sir, if we can schedule a show together, I would love to. I love talking to you, Mephisto. If my health hadn't taken such a bad turn, we would probably still be doing all the after show and all the other shit. Oh, for sure. I mean, at the end of the day, the best part about the Joe Rogan experience is that, like, it's ultimately a guy speaking with people that he finds super awesome. And my show, like, I've always drawn inspiration from that and tried to do something very similar. I want to talk to people who I find extremely entertaining. I want to talk to people who I find extremely interesting, even if they're not well known, because there's so many cool people out there that are not well known or don't have big audiences. And I want to be one to showcase that occasionally. And I think Joe Rogan is that in the most gigantic way possible. But because he's so big, people are upset by that. You have the largest platform on the planet, so you have an obligation. I think Joe Rogan has been more than generous when it comes to concessions that he's made for things that he is now responsible for because of the size of his audience. Really through no fault of his own, essentially. Now he has to make concessions because he's so big, because he wants to talk to dope people that he finds like incredible. And every single person is going to come across that in their journey. I mean, I haven't come across that. I've come across it on a very, very tiny scale. I've lost a few people because I've talked to. I've lost a few people who I respected because I talked with Comicsgate. My any involvement that I had with Comicsgate was met because I shouldn't do that, because that's pushing a narrative, that's giving them power, right? It's the same thing. Rogan shouldn't mention these things, or he should mention them because he has such a large platform. That person doesn't deserve this, or that discussion doesn't deserve any air. How many comics Okay, have you how many comics have you lost because you talked to this? Oh no, I've lost like a few. I don't know the exact number, but there's been a few people who I respected, who I had conversations with in the past, who just won't speak with me or engage with me now because I had Comics Gate individuals on, like Ethan Van Skyver and Dick Masterson and Vito Frog Tony. As I spoke with them, they have distanced themselves from me and not. And I've been told by people who aren't creators that, you know, giving those people you know, time of day is not good. They don't deserve it. You know, I disagree. I don't know. I don't honestly. I mean, Comicsgate occasionally comes in and they razz the opposition, we'll say, but I don't know. I think I've lost a few because I've had on other people, but I don't know if they've. Let's put it this way. If I reached out to the people who I had on, they would probably come back and talk with me more. In Comicsgate, if I reached out to the people who I lost on the other side, they probably would not. My guess is, and I can't confirm this, but my guess is that they will not, because I've tried reaching out and I've been met with silence. Is what it is. And I see the point you're trying to make, Krabby. And again, this is why I can't really say that my allegiance runs one way or another, because I don't want to be beholden to a single team. I don't want to be beholden to a single team. I want to enjoy dope shit. I want to talk to people who I want to talk to, and I want to. I want to be. I want to be different. Yeah, the CG Ripa shit is annoying. It's annoying, is what it is, because, and here's why. And this is what I'll say, is that there are so many talented people out there, and I've said this before. I said it the other day. This whole controversy is a bunch of people like showing each other how much better they can suck each other's dicks. That's what the whole controversy is about. Look how far I can get my own dick in my mouth. No. Look how far I can get my own dick in my mouth. Hey, look, I removed a rib. Oh, hey, look, I removed 2 ribs. Look I can get the whole thing in my mouth. Hey, bro, did you even gag on your own dick? That's what this whole thing is. And I don't care what anyone says. All I see is one big gay porn playing out, and that's it. It's useless, because there's so many fucking dope motherfuckers out there. There's so many cool people who are talented, have amazing writing skills, who have amazing drawing skills, and we're all fighting over nothing. Most people, and most people would just benefit from ignoring it all. But the internet's done one amazing thing, right? It's done this amazing thing that's allowed people to monetize outrage. I mean, done. I mean, that's it. This is dragged on because YouTube totally is or the algorithm currently is 100% fueling, is just throwing gas on the fire of outrage porn. It's not fun. There's a lot of talented, good people who deserve to succeed, but are now caught up in a back and forth. And it's not just RIPA and EVS. There's like infighting that I see within Comicsgate that is like sucks to watch. And a lot of it comes down to, I know more than you. I've been here longer. Again, how much more of your dick can you get in your mouth than me? That's all it is. And this is nothing new, by the way. This is stuff that's always happened, right? Like, people always battle their egos, you know. But we've commercialized it. We've turned it into a soap opera that people can watch. Why? Because the Kardashians are so popular. Because Jersey Shore was so popular. Everyone saw that shit and thought, wow, I love watching drama. I feel so good about this. And maybe in some respects it's like good to watch that, because then you can be proud of your own life. You can be proud that you're not associated with such nonsense. Oh, sure. But the problem is, so it would be one thing if it was actually like pro wrestling where it was all scripted and you know, at the end of the day everyone went home and was friends, but it's not that. It's personal attacks. It's destroying people's livelihoods. It's like railroading people because of not having this correct opinion. And that sucks, man. CG is a community, not a company. No, it's true. I've seen, but I guess the point I was making with that is I've seen CG start to eat itself in that, hey, you don't think properly, so you need to, you're out. You know, it's the same sort of like fighting where, and I don't know the full backstory, but I don't like seeing like really talented people fight because, oh, hey, you didn't do a thing or you said a thing. And I don't know, man. I don't want to get in the weeds because I am not well versed in the drama. I am not well versed in the drama. I'm less than impressed with a lot of what I see in the comics and commentary space, and it sucks. I see a lot of great people. I support what I like. I buy the things that I'm interested in. Vote with my dollar. At the end of the day, you should just make the stuff that you're making, is my point. If you're making comic books, make comic books. Talk about those comics. Talk about other good things that you like within those comics. This isn't, and I'm not dictating what people can and can't say, but as a consumer, as someone who's attempting to consume these products, I don't really want to give my money to people who are constantly drama farming on, like, off of other people. Like, I'll be honest. I don't care to hear about high school gossip from grown-ass fucking men. Just make your shit. Make your shit. Make the very best possible product, release that very best possible product, and let your consumers dictate how great you are. Don't tell me how great you are. Show me how great you are. Put that shit in front of me. Don't delay it. Put it out there. And then take criticism when it's needed. And the same thing can be said on the other side. Don't just put out quick products because the competition isn't. make the product good. I'd rather wait a little bit longer for a great product. I would rather not get a substandard product quickly. For those who just think I'm standing for Riververse. And that is, and I would say most people are on the same page. Most people are on the same page. Like, just give me a good product. Give me a good product. Let me stop talking about it. Make it, finish it, release it. That's what people used to do. I don't agree with everything that Metastep says. I'm not gonna lose a friendship over it, and I'm not gonna necessarily attack him over it. Like, I'm not gonna keep pushing and prodding on a subject that might make him mad. If I disagree with a particular thing, like, oh well, I see your point. Then, like, not everything needs to be a debate. There's a lot in life that doesn't need to be debated. And again, one of the pitfalls of being perpetually online or watching debates online constantly is that that's how you think that life goes. Oh, here's someone who doesn't have my opinion. I should debate them now. I need to go to every college on the Eastern Seaboard and give my opinion and then take questions from it. No, you don't have to do that. Just formulate an opinion based on all of your life experiences plus some historical fact and kind of go from there. And also realize, this is one of the things that people can't quite grasp or wrap their head around, is that you're not going to save everyone. It's just a really unfortunate fact of life. Doesn't mean we shouldn't try, but at the end of the day, you have to be willing to accept losses. There's going to be people who just aren't following what's going on, and there's always going to be exceptions to the rule, and it's a bummer. You're never going to get 100% compliance from something. I'm sorry I'm not responding to all your comments. You guys, I'm pretty good at responding to comments usually, but because I'm driving, I can't read everything. I appreciate everyone being here and listening and having, your chats. But if I every now and then I look and I'll see like a comment, but yeah, I mean, that doesn't mean we should just accept these losses. Like, obviously, you want to minimize what you can, right? You want to minimize collateral damage. You want to minimize, opportunities that people don't get. You're just not always going to do it. And that just factors into everything. Everything. I mean, like, life's not fair, and it's a cop-out to maybe say, but it's the truth. It's not fair, but there's a lot of stuff that we do have control over that can help change course. And I can speak to the U.S. The U.S. has so many opportunities for people to really succeed. Fucking world. The amount of information that is absolutely bonkers. Absolutely bonkers. Now, I don't think that the whole Google it is a valid excuse for anything. Like, I don't think people. I think telling people, oh, you should just Google it, bro. Like, yeah, ignorance is still a thing. Like, it's not, it's still a valid excuse to some extent, but the internet has given people insane opportunities. Like, it's never been easier to make your buck. I really want to read what you guys wrote, but I can't see it. No, Mr. Jarrell, you're right. Like, ignorance is always going to be there, and here's what I'll say is that, like, it's okay for people to have. I think discussions are something that don't happen nearly enough. People talk at each other quite a bit, but there's not a lot of, like, good faith discussions happening, and that is a big problem. People are attempting to debate without knowing how to debate or understanding what the point is. Life isn't a debate. I think most of human history has been discussions. Normal people talking to each other with information that they have. You have a lot of information at your fingertips, if not all of it at this point. So sure, you could spend your whole day researching a topic that you are passionate about, but not everyone's going to do that, and not everyone is just going to accept, like, oh, well, yeah, okay, just going to let this guy school me, and that's like. The people who are spending that time researching stuff, like, you have to know how to get that information out and not just headbutt everybody with that information, right? It's good to know. It's good to know all that stuff that you know. But like I said, just headbutting everybody with that information is not the way that you get people to understand what's going on. Plenty of normies out there who are just, I don't really have a grasp on this, or I don't understand why that's so important, or why are we talking about trans stuff every day? Like some people don't make it their whole life's mission to look at this stuff. It's okay if you do, but realize that most people don't understand the context. Because they might also be getting bad information given to them, right? They might be hearing from the news, oh, all these conservatives are trying to ban books in schools. Yeah, banning books is not good. Okay, well, rather than go into a giant diatribe of what of all the things going on and all the book, blah, blah, like, you need to know how to approach someone with some couth and understanding that you're going to have to break down everything in a fairly civil manner. You have to say, hey, this is what's going on. Hey, thanks, man. Thanks, Madhouse. You guys get kind of what I'm saying? Does that make sense? Yeah, don't make a political channel. I mean, make a political channel if you want, but I don't know. I think people are better served just doing the shit that brings them happiness. I'm kind of lost here. What are we on? Oh man, we've jumped around a lot on this one. I was basically. What I was trying to say was it's important to understand that for most of history, topics weren't debated, they were discussed. They were discussed in a way that usually came from a place of ignorance. The internet has brought a lot of information at people's fingertips and has made them armchair experts in some ways. But they are, but then when they start trying to give this information to other people, they're essentially just like headbutting them with that information and not knowing how to really disseminate it and discuss it. Rather, they want to jump into a debate because they see what's happening on the internet. They see that Charlie Kirk and Ben Shapiro and Michael Knowles and all these people, the whatever podcast, are just grilling people all day. It's fucking yeah. That's it. That's how they think it's done. Sure, it's great to be an expert at something. I have a suggestion: pure and utter shit posting. If someone accuses you of being a phobe or an ism, then you just turn it up to 11. They'll error 404 in time. It's funny. Historically, we went to war over dumb shit. Discourse has been the exception. Interesting. That's a good point. Okay. I pick up what you're putting down. Michael Knowles isn't dumb. My issue with Knowles is, I think Knowles is pretty well read, but he's one of those like very staunch Christians where he's like his worldview is built around his own like ethnocentrism, like, or is that the right word? Like, no, that's not the right word. Like his own Christian-centric world is like kind of where he bases a lot of his like arguments. Which again, that, you know, to each their own on that. I don't particularly care for it, but you know. Yeah, you guys are. I stand corrected. I guess what I meant about like historically people had discussions was that normal people like a lot of times talked about this stuff, like their discussions, and maybe those normal people, like maybe a lot of that stuff led to larger problems. But I do think that there's an abundance of information that people need to utilize. They need to utilize them. Why are people still wearing masks in their car? Oh man. I watched a very passionate speech. I can't read that shit. I wish I could read it. You'll have to send me that speech if it was good. Here's I guess the long and the short of everything that I've sort of mentioned today is that in some respects, people need to be agreeable, but in other respects, we need to be, or not agreeable. We just need to be a little bit more moderate in approaching some of these, like, larger issues, because we are, like, it is possible that we could reach a giant tipping point where people can lose their way, we'll say. You know, and I don't know there's always talk of like, oh man, like look at all these guys. There's a bunch of feds fucking walking around posing as conservatives. I don't know if that's true. It certainly looks suspicious when they're all dressed up the very same. And, do I think that represents the broader spectrum of conservatives? If it is, no. The same thing could be said for liberals who are, throwing bricks through, J. Crew and burning down these, cities and setting up Chaz and all that. Like, do they represent the broader, swath of liberals? I don't think so. I know some people do believe that, but I think that's short-sighted. I don't think it's productive to think that way. I think those people are wrong on both sides. But we can't be, I don't know, just can't be so quick to label shit. We need more information. Just like the January 6th shit, like the J6 stuff is like, there's so much in there that doesn't add up to me, or even say, camera now. Yeah, there's just so much stuff that doesn't add up to me, and then I've been told, "Oh, this is bad as an insurrection." Well, I don't believe it. I do think that some people were there with some really nefarious intent, and then I think there was a bunch of people just fucking wandering around being really polite. Because I think if that were truly what they thought it was, it would not be nearly like there would have been way more shit like destroyed and way more shit like out of line. I don't know. What people perceive matters more than what actually happened. Yeah. But there was a phrase I learned a long time ago, and this was in the restaurant business. And this always stuck with me, and it makes me laugh because it's so true. My boss looked at me, and he was like, we're just talking about something that happened. Like there was like an unruly customer, and they weren't being really nice and whatever. And I was making excuses for what was happening. And my boss looked at me and goes, "It doesn't matter. Everything you're telling me, it doesn't matter." And I go, "What do you mean?" He goes, "Their perception is our reality. So you could have done everything right as you've been taught, but how they perceived the situation is now how we have to handle it." And that shit just like, I remember I was like 22 years old, and I was like, what? It totally changed my perspective on a lot of things, because it's so true. Because people will talk about, oh, it doesn't matter, like facts are all that matter. I'm like, nah. Like, I hate to disappoint. That's why it's easy to laugh when someone says, "My lived experience," right? My lived experience. Everyone laughs at that phrase. But what they're discussing, what they're talking about is their perception of reality, like what happened to them in the past. They perceived events in a certain way and has formulated a reality to them. It's not our reality. We can look at a broad swath of people and how they've perceived events and make an average, and that's what we sort of display as reality. But I mean, everyone perceives things a little bit differently. No one sees the world. There's no like two people see the world the same way, right? We can perceive events in a very similar manner, but it you know, it's where like they're partially right. Like, yeah, your lived experience does matter, but maybe not in the way that they're exaggerating it, right? Shags has high EQ. What's that? What's EQ? I have a high equalizer. Emotional intelligence? Maybe. Might be. Well, we know my IQ isn't very high. You know, wow, shit. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. There's so much stuff out there. I appreciate that, though, Metastep. Your compliment does not go unnoticed. I appreciate that. I don't know. I think having a high emotional intelligence is good. Humans are, if nothing, if not emotional creatures. We're social creatures. And because of that, we feel, I think because we feel so deeply on things, a lot of us, we feel so deeply, and that's why we are capable of such greatness and why we're capable of such great evil. Humans can do truly fantastic and awesome things, but we can also we are also capable of really great evil too. And I think, you know, you should also just not be surprised that because of that. Oh, this is a really nice area. This is cool. Never been down here. What's cool about my job, it allows me to travel to places I don't usually go. And this is a nice area. Springville, Utah. I dig it. I would move here. Do I need to be in the center lane? I think I do. There's EQ and IQ usually. Most people have a close balance of the two, while some have one higher than the other. I honestly don't know what my IQ is. I don't know, in my later stage of life, I have been more patient with learning and understanding things. I don't think I'm stupid, but I certainly don't pick up things the way others do. Maybe it's the emotional intelligence that is like shining through most times, but I really do pride myself in being able to sift through things a little bit more rationally than others do. I don't know, like, does it matter what a test says? Probably not. Probably not. I don't know what good it would do me to even, get one. I just, I feel good. I don't feel stupid. I'm happy with how I live my life every day. I'm happy with my knowledge. The things that I'm not necessarily proud of and things I have to work on don't necessarily have to do with IQ, and rather have to do with my own like shortcomings, and then just focusing on them. Like, if anything, I'm probably guilty of having like ADD or something, and I can't just stay the course on something and get it done. It's easily one of my worst qualities, but not something that I don't think requires some superior intellect to fix. It's just, I bet a little fucking medication would honestly do it. that's it. Oh, did I go down the wrong road? Yes, I did. Krabby Patty says, I would guess 120. Is that good? Anything over 100, right? Anything over room temperature is good. Cheers. Anything over room temperature, I'll take it. Take the pills and be happy. Don't forget to eat the bugs as well. All right, guys. That was an awesome conversation. Appreciate everyone hanging out. Pulling up to my first stop of the day. I want to thank everyone. Got a couple appointments. Might be home a little bit early today. Might hop on and get some work done. But yeah, I do appreciate everyone being cool and listening today. It's been fun. Thank you for being patient with me. Tomorrow night we're gonna do an episode of Shagcast, and that's how we're doing it. Shagcast tomorrow night. Love you. Static 2020, good to see you, brother. Silvar, Krabby, Space Zombie, Metastep, Mr. Drow. DJ Ronnie's here. I didn't see you, buddy. What's going on? Jugglin's Regalia, what's going on? Thank you all for being here. Really do appreciate it. Extra Zero, thanks, man. I saw you send through a bunch of links and messages. I'll check them out. Sonia Lisette was here. Railway Nation was here. Silvar, thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it. I'm gonna head out for now. Take it easy, y'all.